All right. Hey, internets, it's Jake, and this is Mini Terrain Domain, MTD, doing a live crafting hangout. As you can see, we're already joined by a couple of people down below. Looks like we've got Kevin and DM Brad with us, who are also painting or crafting. I thought it might be fun to pop in tonight. And since I'm already going to be working on some stuff, and I post frequently to DM Scotty's page, and I have the YouTube broadcasting. One moment. There we go. I always forget about that. Here I'm talking over myself. So as I was saying, I post frequently to DM Scotty's page with a lot of the stuff that I'm working on, or on my own page on Facebook at facebook.com/mini-terrain-domain. And I figured, why not give people a chance to see what I'm working on while I'm working on it. This is an open hangout. I did put the link out on a couple of forums, so we may have some people watching live on YouTube, or even joining us in the hangout below. So I'm going to try not to let too much dead air go by, but you know how it is. Sometimes you get in the zone and we get crafting on stuff. That's just what happens. So I'm not gonna worry about it too much. And we'll just go. I'm planning on going at this for quite a while. We'll keep the broadcast going for as long as it seems to make sense. And yeah. So if you have any questions or you want to pop in and join us, feel free to do so. And yeah, so let's get crafting. So Brad, what are you going to be working on tonight?
I'm going to paint one of 5 minis that I'm doing for a commission, and I'm deciding on which one to do at the moment. They are all townsfolk.
All right.
And they're all primed, and I've done the flesh on all of them.
Kevin, what are you working on?
So I've got the Fat Dragon Ravenfell core, and this is the roof off of building number 3. It's a tile roof, and I'm just giving it some texture by pasting curved tiles over the flat cardstock that I printed.
All right. Looks like you've got yourself a lot of intricate, tedious work. I hate saying tedious because, yeah, I've personally, in the last few weeks, I've personally drawn or textured thousands of bricks, but I don't really think of it as tedious because I get lost in thought or listening to live D&D play or whatever, thinking about the game that I'm making it for. But it's definitely a lot of.
So yeah, I saw all those bricked up arches. That's what you were working on?
Yeah, I did that. That was a couple nights ago. I finished that up. So I'll see if you can see it here, since I did promise a sneak peek. So this is the piece that those arches are going into.
Oh yeah, I see them.
And those are primarily for the outer walls on this lower level of the pyramid.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So I'm working on now is I just did this one last night. So this is the interior wall here. It goes all the way across. It's the biggest interior wall. Whoops. That'll sit in there. And right now I'm working on the walls that are going to go on either side of these hallways. So there's walls and a doorway. And I'm doing it with dollar store craft foam, and I'm doing it double layer because I want certain hall walls. I want to have these alcoves.
Yeah, what do you need?
And the only way to really do that is with the double. And I accounted for that with my measurements, so I don't lose too much space on the interior with that. And then the rooms on the other side are fine without the alcoves. Obviously, I can't do the alcove. I'd have to go triple thick if I wanted to do alcoves on both sides. And then when it's all done, once all the interior walls are painted and put up, I'm actually going to be capping all of the walls with a strip of bricks, so that it conceals the edging of all of these poster boards.
Looks like a good plan.
So yeah, this is the sections. Excuse me. The sections that I'm working on now are. I got to cut the doorway out, and I had actually, when I first did it, I forgot to account for the alcove on the one side. So I've textured the hallway side of each hallway, and I did a door piece that's actually going to kind of sit between those two pieces. That'll be all painted up because these are the doors to the final burial chamber. And I just took a bead and cut it in half to put it over the door here to kind of give it a, I don't know, I wanted it to look like some kind of ornate locking mechanism on the door. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to paint those, what color scheme I'm going to use. The banding will probably be gold and gunmetal. The door itself, I'm not sure yet. Oh, we'll figure that out when we get to it.
Cool. So this is what I've been doing. I printed out the roof on cardstock, which is this, and then I printed it out in paper as well. So it's the same. It's the same thing, right? And I cut a strip off of the tiles, and then I cut the tiles individually. And then I curve them over this bamboo skewer to get them curved. And then I will apply them one by one to the roof. It is, to quote Terrain Wrench, mindless, time-consuming activity.
Do you find yourself at any point while you're cutting those out and forming them, wishing that you had not started doing it that way?
Not really. Not yet, anyway. I mean, I did the same thing with the roof tiles, where I was with the shake roof, you know, and I was like folding them to get some texture to them, right? And then I unfold them and cut them out and paste them on. But it's all right. I tend to do things, and then if I didn't like it, I won't start another one like that, you know? But while I'm doing it, no, I don't really regret.
I ask that because occasionally I find with certain projects, I'm like, why did I start doing this way? There has to be a better way. And particularly working with this foam core, what I found is that if you're patient and you get to that stage where, particularly you get, after you paint it black and you get that first or second coat of brown or grays or whatever you're doing, whatever kind of stone you're doing, I found that it that's when it starts to pop, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I just spent all these hours texturing all these bricks, because once the paint's on there, you just really see that texture come alive. As so many painters are fond of saying, it makes that texture pop.
So I guess DMG Info is in the States now getting married? Is that
Yeah, I
right?
see that. Yeah, he's looks like he's been taking the tour of the western U.S.
I just saw one post where he's complaining about things being backwards and wall outlets not having switches.
Right.
I'm like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, at least everything outside of your house here isn't trying to kill you. It seems like there's a lot of darn near monsters in Australia.
So I've decided to go with this. See if I can get the focus. Get it to focus. Anyway, Big Bad Mama.
She like waitress?
Yeah, I think she's like a bartender or something.
Got her hands on her hips.
Yeah, she doesn't look happy at all. So
She looks like my kind of woman.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw a couple of those townsfolk today when I was out looking for mummies. Um, I didn't pick any up because I don't need them for this particular build. But I think later in the year I'm going to be building a big tavern, so I'm probably going to have to start picking up some townsfolk to populate the tavern. I don't do a lot with mini painting. I'm relatively new to it, so I'm a big fan of if I can find what I need in the pre-painted minis. I did pick up this Ghost from Reaper today that I got to start on because I do need that in the Mummy Lord adventure.
Nice.
You
I
can't.
compliment you on your restraint.
You broke up there for a second. I didn't hear that.
I said I compliment you on your restraint.
Oh. Oh, believe me, if I'd have had the money, I'd have been all in on the Kickstarter.
I forget who the manufacturer is for these particular townsfolk. They're metal.
I have not painted metal. I've only painted plastic, and usually it's repainting old Mage Knight figures, or I've painted a handful of these Reaper Bones figures.
I much prefer Reaper Bones.
I am trying to figure out why my Q&A app is not working, or comments aren't working on the YouTube. Let's try this.
Is there a thing that tells you the stats, like how many people are watching?
Yeah, I can see that. We got 6 viewers right now.
You're making me nervous.
Now we got 4. It keeps going up and down. I think people are popping in, popping out. 1 or 2 people. I know somebody's trying to get in and said he can't get in and can't view the comments. So I'm trying to fix that for you, Manny. Not very interactive if the Hangouts aren't working, or the Q&A's not working. Hmm. All right. Hmm.
Kevin, you plan on doing another painting session on Saturday?
Yep.
I don't know if I'm going to be around for that one or not.
Well, it was nice to have you last week. We had a decent 3 or 4 people there.
Yeah, can't talk. I will either be joining you or starting a new campaign with AJ and the crew.
So yeah, it's funny. I guess you and AJ started those mini online hangouts, and I kept wanting to join you guys, and I wasn't a member of the Facebook page at that time. I could never find the link. It was always too late. Finally, when I got set up, and then AJ decided he didn't want to do it anymore. He's kit bashing some, or he's crafting some minis from scratch these days, huh? That carrying crawler he did was really nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Just out of aluminum foil, I guess. Sculpey.
Yeah. I have Sculpey. I've never even used it.
I made a thing recently, the head coming up out of the ground and the hands.
Mm-hmm. So since I don't normally paint metal minis, for this commission I needed to get some primer. And I went on eBay and found a color that I thought was gray because it was called wolf gray. But as you can see, it's pretty much blue. But I'm making it work. Just have to work harder.
Alright, well, I'm not going to mess around with these controls anymore because I'm not crafting while I'm messing with these controls. I don't know what's going on. I'll have to figure it out before the next one, so I'm glad you guys could join in. So we'll just keep going for a little while. And so you were saying about sculpting. Somebody was sculpting minis from scratch.
Oh yeah, AJ Piggott.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he proposed, I guess, initially, along with Brad, the mini painting because everybody had all these bones to paint, right?
Right.
And for like 4 weeks or 6 weeks, I kept trying to, I would always find out the next day they had it, or I couldn't figure out what was going on. I wasn't a member of the Facebook page where they post the links to it. So I finally got signed up for that, and then AJ, he, I guess, lost interest or whatever. He never joined us after that.
Hmm.
Well, he
So,
started.
but I've been having the hangout pretty much every Saturday for quite a while now. And usually Davy Jones from the Pro Board shows up. He can't sleep. He lives in Amersfoort, Netherlands. And then Brian Zielinski shows up now and then. And there's a few regulars, I guess you'd call them.
Hmm. Let's keep an eye out for that. I'm doing pretty much mega crafting this weekend. I'm putting a couple hours in the night. I've got a dentist appointment in the morning tomorrow, and then probably from about 1 o'clock in the afternoon until at least 1 in the morning. I'm looking at least 12 hours tomorrow of just solid crafting. I'm hoping to finish all of the interior of the tomb with only, I mean, if I can get to it, I'll start on the exterior. That's going to be a lot of brickwork. But if I can't, at least I'll have the interior done, and then I got a couple days next week to work on the exterior.
So, Kevin, I got a new miniature painting toy. It is the ultimate machine for making your miniatures paint dry faster. I got a Goodwill for $2.99.
Oh yeah.
Is that
Can't
a
beat those.
is that a heat gun or a?
It's a mini hair dryer. It's perfect. Like, you can see how small it is.
I've got this crafting heat gun that I use for the same thing. I speed dry all my painting projects. Except I've noticed with the Reaper bones, you got to be really careful with the heat gun because they will turn to gel.
Yeah, probably.
Well, that's how I straighten them out. If they're bent, I use the heat gun.
Right.
I mean, I tried the hot water thing, but it's just too messy, man.
I do the hot water.
Where you put it in boiling water and then take it out, fix it, stick it in ice water.
Yep.
It's just way easier for me to just, wave the heat gun back and forth on it until it starts getting wilty, and then hold it while it cools off. So I did have one engineering difficulty with this. Since I'm overlapping the tiles just a tiny bit, I end up needing to add one tile to the row. So that's what I have this for. and get an extra tile out of it.
Hey, I found pictures of the sky. Hey, I found pictures of the sky.
How long have you been working on that tomb?
Oh man, I'm really bad about keeping track of the actual time I'm working on it. I kind of started slow on it, I want to say a month or so ago. I'm estimating that I've got about 60 hours in it right now.
Wow.
The way I measure my projects is...
How long have you been working on that tomb?
The way I measure my projects is by by tracking what I listen to or what I watch while I'm doing it. And I just lost my video. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I minimized it. Yeah, so I track how long I've been doing it based on what I've been listening to. So I have listened to all of the Winds of Sir Celine from A Fistful of Dice, or sorry, all of the Provokers games, live games from A Fistful of Dice, all of the Winds of Sir Celine from Barker at Be a Better Game Master, most of the Roll Up and Die podcasts, so about 20 episodes. So I know I've got a good 60 hours plus into it just based on that. The downside to that is I've caught up on all of those gameplay videos. I haven't found anything to watch next.
Have you ever watched the Well Death campaign by Rob Davis? It's an older one.
No, I haven't.
It's got Underwood and Captain Gothnog.
No, I've not seen that one. What is it called?
It's called the Well Death campaign. Forgotten Realms Well Death. Rob Davis, the Swamper, is the DM. It's on his channel.
All right, yeah, I'll have to look that up.
Actually, I think the videos are on Underwood's channel.
Well, I know I've been meaning to look up. I know Captain Gothnog's got a campaign he's been running, and there's a lot of them out there. A lot of good one-shots from the Tabletop one-shot group, and other stuff out there as well. So
That Well Death one is my all-time favorite online game I've ever seen. It's really good.
all right, somebody was asking me. It might have been on DM Scotty's page, or somewhere, about how I got my mortar lines to pop so much on the foam, and I just wanted to show that I took and outlined where the alcove is going to show through, and I just take my ruler and I don't even measure it out. I just do a rough spacing because these are going to be really small bricks. And then I'm going to take my X-Acto blade and I'm going to eyeball in all of the vertical lines for the bricks. I'm going to do just a real light score vertically on all these to identify the bricks. And then the time-consuming part after that is actually taking the pencil and outlining each and every brick. That's what gives them that aged, old, worn look and really makes them pop out. So that's how I do my brick joints. You just gotta have a nice sharp blade and a lot of patience. And I'm blind. I'm not blind, really. I just have really bad eyesight, so I use my magnifying lens when I do that minute of work. I've spent many hours these past few weeks with my face pressed up against this magnifying glass.
I'm doing it right now.
I know when I painted, I forget what I was painting. I was painting a miniature, and I actually took I have a small handheld magnifying glass in my drawer, and I actually I duct taped it to the top of the lighted magnifying glass here, so that I could get extra magnification. Oh, somehow I jumped the line. The nice thing about these being old bricks is, I don't know if you can see where I've started scoring those. I don't know if I blinked or what, but I jumped the line, so my staggering is off. I just compensate, put it right, and either won't trace those lines with pencil, or I'll trace them and they look like broken bricks. So that's one of the reasons why I love crafting dungeon terrain, is you do not have to be super precise with it. You can just write it off as old. And if you're talking about a couple bricks out of thousands of bricks on a build, it's highly unlikely that anybody's going to notice that.
Yeah.
I do find that the more I do this and the more intricate builds that I do, the higher standard I hold myself to. As I do it more, I'm trying to get better at concealing the any indications of the glue, the hot glue, brush strokes, any of that kind of stuff. So Kevin, the build you're working on, is that for anything in particular?
Not really. I started crafting terrain to have props for stop motion I'm planning on doing.
Okay.
Because I have, hundreds and hundreds of D&D mini pre-paints from when I was doing a skirmish game. And I saw the XP Hunters. I don't know if you're familiar with that, the XP Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
It's a series of 8 videos that this guy did using stop motion with D&D mini pre-paints.
Oh.
And very, very entertaining.
So you're set building essentially right now then.
Yeah.
That's cool. My my son has started a YouTube channel of his own, and he has put up a Legend of Zelda Lego stop motion video, and he's actually working on editing his second video. I showed him a few things, but he watches a lot of videos, and I gave him access to my good camera and my lights and stuff like that, and he builds the sets himself, comes up with the storyline, and he really enjoys doing it. And I think he does some pretty good stop motion videos. So yeah, I've always been a fan of stop motion. Back in the days of where you used to see it primarily with claymation. But even going back to the old, Harryhausen, and there's something about those old stop motion monsters. I tell you, one thing I think about a lot when I'm drawing these bricks is I have an appreciation for masons that actually place bricks in the real world. Do you guys play any? Do you guys play tabletop games with terrain?
I play D&D.
Yeah, not recently.
You play pretty regularly, Brad?
I play online more often than actual at home, just because of it's hard to find a group here. So I mostly just game with like one of my friends and my family. And due to scheduling lately, it's been pretty tough.
Yeah, that's always the hard part.
I saw a picture of you on Facebook with a Viking helmet on.
Who?
Your bike in the background. Is
No,
that right?
I don't think so, dude. Not me.
It wasn't I either.
Oh, really?
I
No.
don't think so.
So yeah, I like to get out on my mountain bike on the weekends.
Hello? Man, this woman is ugly.
But she has a good personality.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think that's up to the DM. So, Brad, besides painting the minis, do you do any crafting of terrain yourself?
Yeah, just DM Scotty stuff mostly, and my own. But cardboard, all that stuff.
You know, it's kind of funny. I kind of got started in crafting in part because of the amazing set pieces that were at the on the live Penny Arcade Acquisitions Incorporated games.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started researching about it, I kept coming across Scotty's videos and the DMG. So they were huge inspirations, and I've shown this before on. I'm sure I've shown it on this channel before, but Scotty's giant purple worm here. That was my first big Scotty inspired craft that I did. And other than this and other 3D things, I have still to this day not made any of Scotty's 2.5D terrain. I just can't break myself away from the 3D terrain.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hey, there you are.
Hey,
It
thanks
took
for.
me a while. Took me a while to see your messages, Manny.
What time are you going to cover me?
10 minutes.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you 10 minutes. You just
Hi.
That sounds like Demon Jester J.
I'm his kid.
my little minions behind me. Go. Hey, door, close, move, now. Adios.
Oh, Dad, can you make me lunch for tomorrow?
You get lunches. Out.
I know I get free lunch, but tomorrow is nacho day.
What's wrong with nachos?
Just so.
Out. You're definitely not my child at this moment in time. Get out.
I'm hungry.
Out.
Now it's a hangout. Demon Jester J's on board.
Sorry about that.
I
Go.
was saying it took me a
Guys.
while to see your messages because apparently I'm having some kind of technical difficulty where I can't get the Q&A app to work and there's no chat or no live chat on the YouTube channel.
No, you're not gonna help them. I'll do it. Oh boy. Hey, yeah, I know. You formatted my computer twice. I don't need to format it again. No, I got a question for you guys. Have any of you drank Sobe, like the Sobe drinks?
Long time ago.
Yeah, I haven't had any in a while.
You know they used to have the glass bottles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they changed to plastic a while back. But I've been looking at these bottles, and they have like this texture, like it looks like dragon scales. I was thinking about making these into like water towers.
You know, I saw a while back, I don't remember where it was, but somebody used one of those, the top portion of a Sobe bottle, and they made a blacksmith forge.
That's what I was thinking because it has the, I can make the top, like they have the inlays of the lizards and everything. I can make that into like stonework, or I can paint that to make it look like it just raised up metal work on the outside. But I have no clue. I was thinking about that. Don't know yet. Because I was going to cut the tops off anyway and take the bottom out because it has this weird texture at the bottom, like that. And I was going to make that into, since it has this weird texture, I was going to make that into like one of a vortex tunnel.
That's pretty cool too. I would, I'm gonna pick myself up one of those, and I think what I would probably do is I would start off just taking the bottle without even cutting it, taking the whole bottle, and I would spray paint it in a flat black, and then I would just start hitting it with dry brushing in different colors just to see how those textures pop.
That's what I was going to do at first. But
I can see that giving me some ideas.
Well, because I'm moving again. This is going to be the 6th time I've moved within this year. It's driving me crazy. So every time I'm about to start painting minis, start building stuff, I have to repack up everything. And
the
I just
last
got.
Sobe drink that I drank was some raspberry lemonade something. It was the most horrible thing I've ever tasted in my life.
I'm allergic to lemons, so I can have the lemonade stuff they make. But I'm gonna try this mango melon passion fruit. But let me get something for you. I'm gonna show you guys something I got today. I got a care package sent to me. Because a lot of guys on Amazon and YouTube found out I lost stuff in a fire. People are sending me gifts in the mail. Let's see here. And they're sending me these gifts without their names on it. So I don't know who's sending me this stuff. It's just I'm getting these like weird care packages. Somebody sent me all the Dremel drill bits.
Nice.
I don't know who sent me that. This one's awesome. Dremel cutting kit with the guide and drill bits.
Nice.
A old. Now I like anything plastic, any kind of hobbyist thing. That's who I am. I make model cars, model trucks, D&D, you name it. Someone sent me a Fine Scale Auto magazine.
Nice.
And I'm trying to figure out how they got my address. I think this is the coolest one. I did some things for Elmer's. Little miniature wood filler kit.
Excellent.
Little tiny ones, too. I got 2 of them. But the cool thing about it is it also came with these, like plastic inserts, that I think I could use as drying racks when drying minis.
Nice.
Yeah. No, come on, go back in the box, please. I don't. Let's see. Oh. Another full Dremel kit with bits. This one looks like it was used already, but still, person sent to me. No reason. I think this is the coolest one that someone sent me. Wooden,
Dremel saws.
all Dremel saw blades with the mandrel. But it's for wooden plastic. They're not like the cut-off ones because they have this one that's really huge. It's like about the size of bigger than a 50 cent piece. It's about maybe a half-inch bigger than a 50-cent piece. I've never seen a Dremel bit that big before. That's the wood. What else? Plastic. Samples. I was joking around saying I get a lot of my ideas for painting from watching Riddick movies. The guy said somebody sent me the whole trilogy on DVD. Army painter, beginner set, all paints.
Nice.
Another set of Army painters paints with extra brush. Don't know who sent this stuff. I really don't. It's driving me buggy. I was supposed to people would say, "Hey, I sent that to you," you know. So I'd give them a shout out or say thank you. Now this is something I bought. And no jokes, guys. I know it's pink. I asked for white, but they sent me pink anyway. Now, my wife, I like paint my wife's nails once in a while. So I went online to see if I can get some what's it called? Good paintbrushes. And I ended up getting this whole set, but it's pink. But they're great. I mean, they're great brushes.
The color of the brush doesn't affect the color of the paint.
I know. But this is something someone sent me, and I have no clue who sent me them. But when they sent me 3 Newton brushes. I can't say the right name. It starts with W.
Windsor Newton.
Thank you. I'll still mess it up. But someone sent me 3 of their from their smallest to their medium-sized brush tips. And it's the ones with the old school wide base ones, not the ones that slowly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, I haven't seen these in years. I'm like, when someone sent me in the mail, I was like, why is people sending me this stuff? And I took down my old website that had my address on it, so because it's going to my old address, and I'm like, I took that website down right when I moved. So I was like, who wrote down my address and gave these people this information? It's crazy. I don't mind the gifts, but since I have to move, I have to now find a nice way to pack it so there's no shattered ink or shattered paint or shattered this now. Okay, now there's the book. That's that tool. And this one. And since my wife and me are both diabetic, I use her old pens. I take them apart to get the screws and stuff out of them after I bleach them. It has like old screws and gears in them, so it's awesome. It comes in handy, especially when you're doing a steampunk town. Because that's my goal. I'm gonna make since I'm maybe playing War Machine and Hordes, I'll make it a whole steampunk board.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna start off with 3 iron forges. One section from my wife's gonna have one. I'm gonna have one because it's gonna be each one of our armies. I play Kador, she plays Menos. And she wants me to paint a lot of gold, so I had to invest in like I had to invest in at least 6 bottles of gold or get myself some decent ink, gold ink, gold clear ink.
Forgive my ignorance, but is that Warhammer you're talking about?
War Machine and Hordes.
Okay. I've never actually played any of the tabletop war games.
Well, I used to play Warhammer like crazy, and because of the fire, I had 2 fires. The first fire, I lost all my equipment. I was moving everything to another place, another like workshop, and the truck that we had, somehow a brake line broke in underneath the truck and shot a fireball into the truck.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about it before on, I think I was on Crafter's Tavern with you quite a while ago and you were telling your story.
Yeah. So what happened was that with that fire, I lost all my Warhammer stuff and my supplies for Warhammer, and I lost almost everything that due to the hobby. I lost my compressors and everything. But my grandmother, I didn't know this, saved all my Dungeons and Dragons stuff, except for the ones I brought with me. So when I moved again, we didn't. Now, what irony is, we didn't rent from the same company for a truck. For first time we rented was like a mom and pop shop company that was associated with the storage area we're going to storage in. Second time was U-Haul, and their truck decided to blow up on us. I was like, I lost everything. So, and everybody's like, oh, you would. Did you get bummed that you lost everything you had and everything like that? At first, like, I'll be honest with you, the first year, maybe 2 years, I was really depressed. I didn't paint or anything like that. I just did work and got a job and just, typical minute thing. I said, I just said gave the one finger salute to the hobby. But then I realized it wasn't the hobby's fault that my stuff caught on fire. It was just bad luck. So I came up with the idea, make my show to get my mojo back. And now I got like, people sent me kits. I got, my wife as a birthday gift got me 2 box sets of figurines. People are sending me paints and brushes because they want me to just do the stuff and have fun again. Our little community is amazing.
It's a pretty awesome community.
I mean, when someone, I never thought people would come to help a nobody like me. I know I have to admit, I know I talk a lot, and I admit it. It's in my nature. I'm a gabber. But I even have a couple friends that just recently called me up going, we're starting a Rifts game. Do you want to join in? You know how long ago I played Rifts? I was in college the last time I played a game of Rifts. So it's 20 years. And I'm like, I don't have any books or papers like that. And you know what they said? You don't need it. We'll make your character. We'll come over. We'll create your character with you, and you can borrow our books.
That's great.
So I have no clue what to do in Rifts this time, because I was always a thief.
I'm familiar with Rifts, but that's one I never played. I only played back about 20 years or so ago. I played 2nd edition D&D, and I played the old, I forget who it is now, but the old Star Wars RPG.
That's what I used to play, is the old Star Wars RPG in college. I got addicted to that game. Me and the guy, everybody got mad because the character I came up with, I was a full automaton android that looked, I looked like a droid. That I was so mechanized, I was technically General Grievous. But my character had the same body and frame shape of a C-3PO. So what happened was that I found this later on that I was Sith, and I was the number 2 guy, and my boss was an evil 3-foot-tall Sith Lord Jawa.
Ah.
His name was Darth Utini.
Of course.
But the funny thing was how he showed up anytime you were in trouble. The only thing you heard was this roaring Utini.
That's great.
You just heard Utini, and how he became. The DM of the group came up with a backstory for the character, 8 pages long.
A lot of backstory.
It was great. It was like the best backstory ever for a villain, because he wasn't bad at first. He's running away from the Imperial Army, and he stole a spaceship, and as he was leaving the atmosphere, he decided to go to light speed. He ripped the atmosphere off a planet and killed the whole planet, and that's how he became evil. I just summed it up because it was a whole other like why is he being chased and the whole 9 yards.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it was, I mean, I missed the DM. He passed away due to cancer. But I wish we wrote down all the stories we did with him because he was one of the best DMs I ever had.
And I played the classic, or I should say stereotypical. My character was basically a Han Solo ripoff.
Mm.
I mean, I was a smuggler. I bought my own YT 1300 stock light freighter. I pretty much outfitted it like the Millennium Falcon. The only thing was his name was Devorn Flair, and the ship was the Vanity Flair. And
I like the wordplay.
my character hated Twi'leks. So naturally, our first mission that the GM gave us was to escort a Twi'lek off planet. I only played for a couple weeks when I was in the service. I hooked up with some guys while we were on a mission in Louisiana as part of a rotation, and they played, so they invited me to play. We played for a few weeks, and then we went our separate ways. That was the only time I played. I'm playing in a game of Edge of the Empire. Next weekend is a gaming convention near here called GrandCon, and that's when I'm building.
Let me ask you, where in the United States? Where in the world are you?
What's that?
Where in the world are you?
I'm in Michigan, West Michigan.
Oh, I'm in the Poconos.
And so I'm building this pyramid because I'm running a D&D 5th edition custom game with it at GrandCon. I'm also
on Facebook, so they're awesome. Nice work, man. Especially all that brickwork. Now, are you?
I'm also.
Sorry, I cut you off again. Sorry.
I'm playing in a Star Wars Edge of the Empire game called Greedo Shot First.
What?
That's the name of the adventure, and it's you go to a cantina and a green alien kills a human in a black vest, and then a whiny farmer and an old man are looking for escort off planet. So I was like, yeah, I gotta play in this game. I've never played Edge of Empire, so sounds like it could be a fun game.
Especially with that storyline.
Yeah.
My wife at one point in time got me a shirt because she knew I like Star Wars a lot. But I like any sci-fi. But like at one point I was like really addicted to Star Wars because I was playing the role-playing games all the time. She got me a shirt that says Greedo didn't shoot first. Han did. I wore that shirt almost every time I went to a game, and everybody got mad at me for it.
I think I saw a picture of Harrison Ford wearing that.
Yep, he owns Harrison Ford. With the new, he tweeted out about the new about him with him being in the new movie, and he likes how the director's going with it.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Well, if Harrison Ford likes the see, the reason why Harrison Ford wasn't in the first, even a younger version of Harrison Ford wasn't the other ones, was they never wanted to make his storyline. He was supposed to be only from, the point was he was supposed to be only from that thing. People have made written stories about Han Solo.
Right.
I just want to see Han and Leia's kids. That's what I want to see. Well, I'm going to pause my audio and video because I have to put this little one to bed. So good night.
Night.
Good night.
How's
Was
it
that
coming
you
along,
sighing like
gents?
that, Kevin?
Do what?
I said, was that you sighing like that?
Yeah.
I heard the sigh and I saw you pick up the tweezers and another tile.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
I am almost done.
How long does it take you to paint one of those minis usually, Brad?
One of these, like this one?
Yeah.
Well, what time did we start? I guess it's been about an hour.
All right. I used to think there was no way I could paint miniatures. And then I learned about dry brushing. Dry brushing and washes.
Eventually you'll stop dry brushing.
Yeah. There are a lot of painters out there more talented than I ever will be for miniatures. But I'm happy with the handful that I've done.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
You
The basic techniques are easy to get to where it's passable and it really looks great to you. I guess it's just, what is it? It's just hard to master everything, you know?
Yeah.
But
Well, I
yeah,
see
you
there's some
do
people.
some dry brushing, you do some highlighting, and damn, that doesn't look too bad, son.
Oh, brick.
Alright, I'm going to call this one done.
You gonna post pictures?
Probably not, since it's not mine.
Oh, come on.
I'll PM you one. Not the best lighting I have.
Let's see. That's pretty good, man. Looking good.
Wait, I missed it.
I'm trying to get to focus.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, get it.
Yeah, it's not focusing. Can you like hold your hand up behind it? Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, she is a pretty stern-looking woman.
Yeah.
Stern and sturdy.
Yeah, baby.
So where'd you get those minis?
They are not actually mine. They're a commission. But I can look it up for you.
When in my area, I was like I told Jake before a long time ago. I got tired of Warhammer army painting Warhammer orcs and Warhammer Marines because everybody kept the battle on assault on a box set. Basically, everybody in my area bought the box set to play, but they always wanted to play the Marines. I wanted to play the orcs because they're grungy. So my commission was, I'll paint your minis for you and put them together and assemble them for you, as long as you give me your orcs and pay for the paint. I should have never said that in the hobby shop out loud. 9 people came up with box sets and handed me. I had so much blue, I had so much ultramarine blue paint that I was glad when I started playing. When I started playing I made my when Necrons came. When I started playing Necrons, and I had the original toaster-looking Necrons, so I made different types of alphas. Oh, that is a nice boar.
Nice.
Like the skin.
That's the one I finished this morning.
Nice work on that, man.
And I know the Google Hangout web interface isn't doing it justice.
Not at all. Well, I set my resolution high so I could see when he showed it up. It's really nice. What color did you use on this tux? The tux though. Was it like a bone white?
It started off. Let's see. I want to say like this color. It's called buckskin pale, and then I did what is it? Linen white over that, and then washed over it and kind of blended it.
That looks really nice, especially the bone work. I like the skin tones. It's awesome. You can see all the flaps of flab, and even you can see the nipple.
You see his butt too.
A friend of mine has a troll he got from this one company. It's like almost a foot tall, not a troll, a giant. It's a foot tall. It's like almost I'd say it's almost 18 inches tall, but it's not. It's a giant. It's a really big mini model.
6 today, I think.
But it has globals
Trying to break the conversation.
underneath the tunic. Underneath the cloth, it has globals.
Well, guys, that's 6 minis done for me today, so I think I'm going to call tonight.
All right.
Do 4 more tomorrow.
Well, thanks for popping in.
Yeah, man. That's really
I'll try to be,
awesome, man.
thank you. I'll try to be at the Hangout on Saturday if we're not playing a game.
Can I ask you a question? Since I got the Army painted paints, and I never used them before. Have you used them, or are you only using their washes?
I've only used the washes and the primer.
Okay. No, I've been asking people because I got the paints. I've used their washes and their inks before, but I've never used their paints, and I don't know if I should.
I haven't heard anything bad about them. One of the guys I watch on YouTube said that they were comparable to, like Privateer Press or.
Yeah, I'm used to using Reaper, so
Yeah.
it's almost impossible. The 2 hobby shops that are by me, they carry Reaper, but I already had. It's not the colors I need.
Yeah.
I need so I don't, and Reaper doesn't sell online, so the only way I can get them is if I go on Amazon and buy the big giant box sets,
No, they sell online. You just have to pay, or you have to get like $35 worth to get free shipping.
Oh, really? They changed it?
But yeah, you can get stuff online.
Oh, awesome.
If you just need a few bottles, it's probably going to cost you, but.
Well, normally, since I usually think in advance because I'm painting a lot of Red Army, so I'm gonna use the Army Painter Primer for that.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
Since mine's more of a steampunk type thing, I may be using
Well,
the.
hope to see you on Saturday, Brad.
All right, man.
See you, man.
I'm still listening to you, bud.
Well, what I may be doing is, since Army Painter has 3 different forms of red, they have the Dragon Red, they have the regular red primer, and then they have this They have another red that's like in between the dragon and the red. It's a little dark. It's not dark, but it's not that light. I may be using that, but I'm gonna get the dragon red for the dragon red and coat that and use other red as a light coat on top, so I have the shadow.
Yeah.
Like an easy so I could shadow with the primer, so I don't have to worry about shadowing that much with red because it's a lot of red I'm gonna be painting.
Oh yeah.
You know? And it's gonna be more of now. Yeah, I know we've been painting metal, and a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you prime it in silver so you can make chipped effects and all that? I'm like, no. I'd rather paint on chipped effects with silver paint and do that and do the scratches and stuff, paint the whole thing silver with like a silver gray primer, then paint all that red over again.
Yeah, that would look terrible. It would be too shiny anyway.
But I like making my own. I usually paint things. I use inks to paint my minis. That's why I'm used to painting with. Yeah. So I'm getting since we have like there's two art supply shops that are where I'm moving to. One's a college supply shop, and since I went to college associated with it, I get a 30% discount.
Cool.
And the other paint shop, I think everybody heard is Blix.
Oh yeah.
They have a place. They have the inks I want too, but they have a new line of metallic inks which I want to test out.
Cool.
Because they have.
I'm gonna get out of here. You guys take it easy.
Is now, Jake, I got a question. What do you use to seal your phone?
Actually, I haven't been sealing it. Most of my stuff is just coated with the paint.
Oh, so you use the paint as a sealer. Okay.
Yeah, I know one of the things that Scotty does a lot, and others do, but is they'll go over it with PVA water mixture.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look at it a little bit. And then they'll do that in a way to strengthen it, and then also to make it so that they can spray paint without damaging the foam.
Yeah.
But my thought is, if you're already going to spend all that time painting a piece like this piece here with water and PVA glue, and then you got to wait for it to dry, why not just paint it with the black paint to begin with? That's me personally. Now there are certain pieces that I have strengthened, and I am going to be experimenting with a dull, like what is it called? And maybe it's called dull. I have the classic Minwax water-based
polyurethane,
polyacrylic clear gloss, and I use that primarily for where did he go? So the other night I posted this on Scotty's page. The other night I did this is a custom sculpt of a roper.
Oh, that's awesome! I like the eye.
His eye is, I used the clear gloss sealant on it.
Yeah,
but I don't want everything to be shiny on all of my foam stuff, so I need to get some dull sealant, like a satin or a matte.
I have an idea if you want something that's it's a decent price. It's a thick medium, but it works great with foam because I've done it in the past. I use Mod Podge, watered down Mod Podge.
Yeah.
And it's like the glue, but the thing is, Mod Podge accepts. Say if you take 3 or 4 drops of ink, black ink, and mix it into it. If you it'll make a matte finish on whatever piece you want, and you'll still have the strength of the Mod Podge.
Huh. I'll have to try that out. So while I'm holding up the tendrils here, say that again?
What do you use for those tendrils?
So yeah, since I'm holding them up here, I figured I'd just talk about it real quick. So the main body is a piece of pink polystyrene foam that I just kind of roughly scratched it into the shape of a stalagmite. And then the eye is, I've got a bunch of these clear marbles. So I gouged out a spot for the eye to fit in there, hot glued it in place, and then I hot glued in the eyelids. I used a Dremel to kind of gouge out an area for the mouth, and used air dry clay to kind of build up the edge of the mouth here. Of course, the teeth are all toothpicks, but the tendrils are actually hot glue that I squirted into a container of cold water.
Wow, nice trick. Well,
So yeah, I wound up having to scrap a few of them. You can see they're quite flexible.
yeah.
This was a problem when I was trying to speed dry with my heat gun, because when you hit hot glue with a heat gun after it's been dried, it starts to melt again. So I had to be very careful with that. But yeah, I wanted something that had that dynamic nature of the roper tendrils, and it was kind of an experiment, and it worked out. You know, it maintains enough rigidity that the tendrils stay there.
Yeah.
So
So I never
I think
thought
it'll be a
about
lot of fun when I place this on the table in place of the ordinary stalactite that's there, and all of a sudden the party is all getting grappled by the roper.
that's gonna be awesome.
But that's what I use the semi-gloss for. I'll show you a couple other things. So there's a little beastie I put together. Make you think twice before you go grabbing for the treasure hoard. This is a treasure column.
That's awesome.
That's actually glue over I don't forget what it is. It's an old Mage Knight mini. But a lot of glue over it, and then dipping it in a custom glitter mixture that I put together, and then I put a black wash over it, and then it seals it and gives it that kind of shininess by going over it with the gloss.
Yeah.
And then again, another several eyes that I used the semi-gloss on my Beholder custom sculpt.
I've seen so many people make beholders. But lately I've been seeing a lot of Mikey beholders. I've been seeing a lot of Mikey beholders lately, though.
Yeah, I've got somewhere around here. I've got a Mikey spectator that I made a while ago.
What I may be doing is I may be making a diorama. What?
Dad, I clean my room right here.
What's this?
Bear drawing.
Go your room.
Maggie.
Being cute. Go away. It's bedtime. You have school tomorrow. You have to be up at 8 in the morning.
7.
7. Yeah, 7 in the morning. Okay, I was wrong. Okay.
I always wake up at 6.
I know you wake up at 6. You sneak into my computer every time.
Do you have a drink? Another soapy drink.
No, I don't. I gave you my last one.
The strawberry banana.
Yeah, sounds sick. I don't know where did you drink it?
But
No, then go. That's all
and
I
I recycled this.
The bottle? Yeah.
Tipper.
Go. Now, bed. Move. Close my door.
If it's dirty clothes, put it in where?
Put it in the corner over here. In a pile.
Okay.
Any of you guys got children?
I have a 12-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old son.
She's the youngest. I have 3 total. My oldest is 25, and she has 4 of her own. From only 2 pregnancies.
I got 3 kids. Youngest is a senior in high school.
Lucky you.
How old is your youngest there?
12. she's so. She wants me. The thing is that we're looking, since we're going on Saturday to look at a house, another place to rent. I was supposed to be doing a chili cook-off for her school, and I had to cancel. And the principal is the one who wanted me being, because the principal remembers my chili from we had a fair a couple years back before I moved up here, and she was she was in Orlando when I did chili cooked off, and she liked my chili that much that when I came up here and my daughter was in school, she wanted me to cook the chili again for the same chili I made at the convention in Orlando. And you can't say no to a person that really likes your food.
Cooking is crafting. It's just a different medium.
Well,
Yep.
I had a see with the I was going to do this for YouTube in a little bit. Since anytime I do have a game, I always cook small snacks for the group that's themed to what I'm playing. Like with Dungeons and Dragons, if we had a bar scene, I made everybody special drinks that are from the bar. But they weren't alcoholic. With Star Wars, I made like I had Wookiee cookies and stuff like that.
Blue milk.
So, huh?
Blue milk.
Blue milk. I dyed milk blue. Gave everybody Wookiee cookies and blue milk. Just, I thought it would be. I like anytime I had a game or like something to be with the group, I always try to bring a little flair of more fun to it. And especially if you're eating something that's like still with the storyline, you still keep it's keeping the storyline still fresh in your mind to play during that little break. You know?
Yeah.
And especially I go to Michael's or AC Moore and buy special little bottles for magic potions if we're Dungeon Dragons or Vampire Horde or something like that.
So I wanted to show this real quick.
I was going to ask you about the archways, how you do the brickwork for the archways around the edge.
Yeah, I wish I had actually. I should have kind of stopped a second and showcased it before I. Let me clean this a little bit up here.
I seen all the Facebook pictures. I always wonder how you like.
All right. I'll show you here. So basically, I kind of screwed this one up a little bit, but when I do for texturing and stuff, it's gonna kind of hide that.
Oh yeah.
So let's not look at that one. Let's look at the other one. I'll show you the one that's all done. So
Wow.
Here's one. I haven't glued it together yet, but I've done most of this just since we've been on the Hangout here. But basically, I just go around the archway real lightly with the X-Acto blade to get the arch line, and then I hit each of these is hit with the Each of these is hit with the X-Acto blade, and then I have a pencil sharpener on the other side of my computer here, and I use these. I mean, any pencil will do, but I'm really partial to these Murago Black Warrior pencils.
The charcoal one?
No, it's just regular pencil.
Okay.
But one thing I like about it is because of the texture of the foam, it actually kind of keeps the pencil sharp as you're going through. It's kind of almost self-sharpening if you start with a sharp tip.
Oh yeah.
Basically, I just go through each of these lines, and then I'll turn it sideways like this, and I just pop down real quick. That's what I just finished doing on that one piece. I just pop down real quick so that you've got that brick texture all the way around. And that's how I'm doing the archways. Now, I've been thinking about this I mentioned a little bit. I think it was before you popped on, Manny.
I've been watching
But
since it started, so I've been
okay,
listening.
so one of the things I'm constantly thinking about is, I can get away with a lot of stuff, a lot of these little so-called mistakes and stuff, because this is an ancient dungeon terrain. So they're old bricks that would have been dry and worn and subject to axe and sword and warhammer blows and whatever else. But there's going to come a time where I'm going to want to craft something that's got a newer look to it. And I think what I would do differently, particularly with the archways and stuff, is I would probably do a lot more pre-planning, where instead of just drawing directly on the foam, I would probably actually create a inner and outer template for this.
Well,
And I would actually trace the outer template first, then the inner template, then cut that archway out. To get more precise, I mean, because you can see, freehand with that X-Acto blade, it's a little wonky around the edges there.
yeah. I was going to. Do you have any micron pens at all?
I do.
I was saying because if you use a very fine tip micron pen, when you're drawing the line, the micron pen small tip will darken the line itself too, and it'll act like almost like a shading. It's just like the pencil.
My only concern with the micron pen is that the foam will draw the ink out of the pen.
Oh yeah.
And the pen will dry up a lot quicker.
Yeah, true.
I've had that problem with. I'll occasionally use some of these roller balls, finer tipped roller balls or something like that. But I find that unless it's a pencil or a ballpoint pen, the foam just kind of sucks the ink right out of it. And microns are too expensive to.
Oh yeah.
Unless I've got a nice commission going on, I don't mind. Burning through a few microns if that's going to allow me to get nicer detail.
Do you mind me asking where you get your phone?
This is all Dollar Tree stuff.
Yeah. Now, did you know if you, I'm gonna give whoever's watching this, I'm gonna give a good tip advice to people. Do what you do and what we all do, making terrain and stuff. If you go to their website right now, you can get for $50. You get a full box, and it's shipped right to your house. Now, if you don't want to pay the shipping to your home, you get shipped to the closest Dollar Tree to there, and all you have to do is show the paid receipt, and you pick it up right there for free.
I'm having a hard enough time storing the 3 and 4 sheets I've got sitting over there right now. I don't know what I'd do with 50 sheets.
Because I'm gonna be making the game table I'm gonna be making is when you play for War Machine Hordes, you only play on a 2 foot by 2 foot table, square. That's it. So I'm making 4 different terrains to fit on the same board by magnets. The top is the main board is going to be. I'm going to have a desert board. It's going to be like a white desert board with. I'm going to make desert terrain and desert hills and everything. That's just hooks up together with magnets. Then I'm going to make a snow one. Then make a grassy plain one, and then make a fire terrain board. But the main board is going to be the fire terrain board. I'm going to get crackle paint, and I'm going to use my airbrush and airbrush it reds and yellows and everything, all random patterns, and then cover it in crackle paint and cover that all in black. So when it starts cracks with the big cracks and everything, it'll look like little miniature lava streams everywhere.
Nice.
So I'm going to be doing and that's going to be at the new place. So once I do that, I'm going to be filming me making a whole new home base. I was supposed to be this place, but things happen. Within 1 year, things happen.
Yeah. I
So
am,
Kevin, are those printed out sheets, or are they?
Yeah,
Did
they're
you?
printed. They're Fat Dragon textures from the Ravenfell core that I printed out on paper and cardstock.
So are you curving them, or are they just? Are you curving them?
Yeah, I cut them out and curve them over the
I see the
bamboo
chopstick.
skewer, and then I
Oh, it's a chop-
just
I
glue
know
them
it's a
on
chopstick.
individually, overlapping them.
So you're doing all you cutting them out individually and gluing each one down?
Yes.
Oh wow!
so Kevin, when I build my my tavern in a couple months, can I hire you just like I'd hire a roofer?
Honest truth, what I would that this is a trick that I've used in the past that worked great for roofs. I got a paper cripper from the scrapbook aisle, and I found the finest one that makes like for crimping. And they have round crimps. They have the triangle peak ones for like metal, which I took like soda cans and cut the tops off and the bottoms and made metal sheets like that to make it look like old school metal siding for buildings. But the round edge ones will do what he's doing. All he has to do is put it through a crimper, and it does that round edge that he's doing on each chop toothpick on the bamboo skewer. And all he has to do is cut the pieces out with a razor blade, and it saves him a little bit of time. Or you could just place the sheet itself and paint it.
You know, I may, Kevin, just steal your technique there
I love the technique. It's awesome.
in the future.
Now,
No, I
Kevin,
mean, I really like that. I mean, you could have gone, you could have just left that flat with the printed texture, but that's just going to add so much more dimension to that piece.
Yeah, it is.
With those curved tiles. I mean, that's phenomenal.
I just got a question. Are you going to wash that over, or is it going to be that color the whole time, Kevin? All right. I don't think you heard me. See, I usually make when it comes to grunging things up, I make a big, nice batch of.
I'm talking while it's on mute. Huh?
No, no.
So yeah,
I like that.
it's just
We both.
I don't know if I can wash it because it's paper.
Well, you can. All you have to do is see what kind of glue you use to glue the tiles down.
I'm sorry, what?
What kind of glue are you using to glue the tiles down?
Aleene's.
The brown bottle?
Huh?
The tacky glue, the thick one?
Yeah.
Oh, you could wash over that in a heartbeat because that's more of a plastic glue than Elmer's type style. That's more of a plastic.
It's just the Fat Dragon things. Their shtick is that they fold flat.
Yeah.
And there's really no interior to them. The levels have the upper floor is like the top side of a box, right?
Yep.
So you can stack them, but they're not super playable. So I've taken the textures and I've scaled them up by 1 1/4.
Mm-hmm.
And then I pasted them over foam board so that they have completely playable interiors. But they're not like Dungeon Forge tiles where, it's the Death Star, you got to look directly down in. So 2 walls will come off, or you can take out all the walls and it's just like a 2.5D floor plan thing.
Yeah.
So it's super modular. I like it a lot. But it needed some, 3-dimensional elements. So the roof is one way I can get it to be a little more not so flat.
Oh yeah. See, what when I used to make when I did my game boards before I saw the we used to do we would have the pieces that we make, but as we'll show that as the floor plan, but would have a drawn map on grid paper underneath the town. And when we had to be in a building or that, we'd just pick up the building and play inside the grid. Now with Scotty's, when Scotty came up with his idea, when I was in Orlando, we were doing the same way we used to do it with the houses. We would see the houses and farmhouses and the churches and everything on the game board. But when the room came up to be, the guy that we were playing with, he made the same houses with the 2D format. So he would pick up the house, put it to the side, and go, now there you're still in the house, and it still looks like you're still there. It was really awesome. Now, Jake, how do you with your walls and everything? How do you keep them together? Do you use pins or do you glue it?
Do you mean the halves of the walls, or when I place them inside the structure?
Like in the halves and all that.
I guess it doesn't matter because I do it the same. I use hot glue.
Hot glue?
Mostly because I'm on a time crunch.
Oh,
I have seen some. I just recently saw some pictures of a work in progress somebody was doing where they were using pins, and I said, you know what? I need to get myself some pins.
Well, I usually get the T-pins for boats. A bunch of those.
Yeah, I have a bunch of those on my desk at work.
I've used those, and I use the big giant black paper clips. You know, the big ones, the
binder clips.
The binder clips. I usually use those to hold pieces of foam together while drying.
The problem with those I have, let me see if I can find it here.
Well, I usually, inside the jaws, I take a piece of felt and put it inside the felt.
Yeah, I actually used, what are they called?
Nice stairs.
Clothespins. Because the edges of the stairs here are two pieces together. And actually, this side here is not going to show. It's going to be up against the wall. But you can see the marks where the clothespins pressed in on the foam core.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's why usually when it comes
that would be my fear with the binder clip is they're so strong that they would just squeeze right into this foam.
That's why I put that's why I get if I go to a dollar store, I get the you know how they have the double-sided stick foam, like the small sheets. Yep. One side has like the sticky glue to it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Well, I put two pieces. I fold the piece in half and put those in the jaw of the binder clips. So it has more of a cushion when it closes down. But I also put a playing card between the two, so there's less pressure. So I take two playing cards, the foam, like what they call it? It's foam. The foam in the jaws. So now you have the pressure on the foam and less pressure on and then you got the playing cards. There's still more pressure, but the playing cards don't pinch on the object when drying.
Well, it's funny you asked about that because I'm actually just about to glue these. I finished these two sections of wall, so I'm gonna glue these, and then I gotta glue the doors into place, and then I'm gonna do another dry fit inside the floor plan of the tomb.
And I also found out if you have to do 90-degree angles, the best thing in the world to get is some Lego.
Yeah.
You make a Lego 90-degree angle, another Lego 90-degree angle, side by side, boom, right there, done.
Indeed.
Huh?
I said indeed.
Well, the only downfall with that is if you have kids my age, and in the middle of the night and you're walking around and you step on a Lego, you definitely know you became a parent.
Oh yeah.
And the worst part is Lego came out with clear Lego blocks lately.
Yeah. He's
That,
he's
that's
15 years old now. If I step on a Lego because he left it laying around, I'm gonna make him step on it.
Hey, when I was 15 years old, I made a not life size, but I made a Death Star out of Lego before they had the kit. And my inner core was a beach ball. I used the beach ball. I kept on.
Oh, I can't glue these together yet. I almost forgot one of my techniques. Somebody was asking me about this too. I want to show this real quick.
10-4 ball.
So right now I'll show this piece here. I've just drawn in, kind of traced around the edges of all the bricks.
Yeah.
And then this is all that I do to get additional texturing is
He beat the snot.
I've actually been thinking about, I've got a small craft hammer here. I've been thinking about just wrapping some foil around the end of it.
Well, the way you
do so much of this.
You getting the brick, the cracked brick effect and everything. Have you ever tried rolling it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm constantly rotating this ball of foam too. I keep a couple different ones.
Since I live in the Poconos and my mom's boyfriend for like 20 years, I should just call him Pop, but I'm not. Even though I'm 39 years old, I will not call him Pop yet until he marries my mom. But he's been with my mom for years. He's a great guy. But he's a slate roofer, old school slate roofer. He chips the tiles and everything by hand. So he's going to be giving me bags of chipped slate as a gift. So I'm going to have like tons of chipped slate. Come on, tracker.
All right, so see if the glue gun is heated up enough yet. So these are smaller pieces, so I'm not too concerned about with the hot glue, with it drying too quickly before I get it lined up. But even with my big pieces, I didn't have that problem. The trick I found, because I've got this dual temp glue gun, is if I'm going to leave it sit for a little bit before I use it, I have to remember to turn it down to low, or else when I go to use it again, the hot glue is so hot it just melts right through my foam.
Now, so you peel the paper off both sides of the foam?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, I've had too many problems. Well, because I'm using both sides of the foam.
Okay. See, I thought...
with the exception of this one piece, but I don't leave the paper on at all. I had too much of a problem with the paper causing issues with warping and peeling away and stuff like that. So I just don't even deal with it. I take it right off. So there's one of the interior walls. I gotta glue the door in yet. I'm not worried about this weird top because I'm going to be capping all of this off in the next couple days. So I'm going to be cutting strips of foam core that I'll have textured and painted that'll lay right across all of this.
I have an idea for that to save you some time.
What's that?
Invest in some double-sided tape.
What's that going to do?
What you could do, instead of putting a bead of hot glue down, the double-sided tape will do two things. One, it'll put a plastic barrier between it, and it'll also keep everything straight and level. And
well, I may have to try that, but
because double-sided,
It seems like I'd have to use a lot of tape to get multiple points of contact.
No, just one strip. About half
Oh,
an inch to it.
you're talking about across the top?
Yeah. To edge it. Or I usually use a piece of cereal box around my edges.
Well, it needs to
That's
be
only if I'm
foam.
doing a flat edge, but you're doing a brick edge, so what you're doing is going to be awesome.
Yeah, it definitely needs to be the foam so I can get that texture in there. So, yeah. So just about finished up with these pieces. I'm not too worried. I got a little bit of a mismatch on the inside of the archway here.
Mhm.
I'm not going to sweat that because I'm about to glue these doors in, which are going to mask that. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue, and we'll find out here in a moment. Because that's what I'm doing now. It'll be the glue around the edge here. Whoops. You know, I was a couple weeks ago, DMG and DM Scotty had their Crafters Tavern, and I popped on there for about a half hour, and I bragged about how I had not yet, on this entire project, I had not yet gotten a hot glue burn. And I'll tell you what, it was the very next day.
You got
I
one.
was working on it, and I burned the knot on my finger. So there's the piece with the door glued in place.
What is the door decoration?
So I got these from Bead Landing. They're etched beads. They have, a lot of them have just kind of this Egyptian look to them.
Oh, that's cool.
And I took one of these and I put it in my little miter saw, or miter box.
You cut it in half.
Right here. And very carefully cut it in half.
And that is a weird looking miter box. I've never seen one that has that many holes.
Yeah, it's got these little black things, oval things that you can put in here and then rotate in place, and they work to block whatever it is you're cutting into place.
Oh, that's cool.
That was a little, like, $10 job or $6 job or something like that I picked up. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to glue this other door in place, and then I'm going to show, we're going to do a dry fit on these, ow, 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 my finger right in the hot glue.
That's why I get that's why I invest in a hot glue cup.
A what?
What you do is, have you heard of a cup warmer?
You cut out, what'd you say?
You know what a cup warmer is, right? One of the old school a cup warmer. What I do is I get a little metal cup.
Okay.
It's like a little hot plate, but it's made to warm up coffee cups.
Okay.
So what I do is I get a little metal painter's cup, put it down on top of the little hot plate, and put hot glue in there, and it keeps it a little warm longer. And that what I do is I take a toothpick and I wrap it around the edge instead of using the gun all the time. And it's also great when you try and make a ton of spider webs. Take a toothpick in and keep on winging back and forth.
Interesting.
Well, I used to make dioramas, and it's an old school diorama trick. What you do is you take hot glue, and you know how you made the tendrils? And I never thought about doing this, but I used to take a plastic fork and dip it into puddles of hot glue and scrape it across of a piece of wax paper over and over again to get fine little webs back and forth. And I would peel them up and cut them and put them into corners. And for the more decorative type of spider webs, I would take the toothpick and draw them out with the hot glue over and over again, and then dust it with a little spritz of ink. I I used to get these little you know, the perfume bottles. I used to get empty perfume bottles and mixture of little ink thinner and some of the ink and spray it on top of the thing like a little miniature spray, like my own little version of a spray gun. Just so I have that little spritz of a little glitz to it, but not because spider webs are supposed to be clear. You can't see through them. You're supposed to be able to see through them. That is looking so cool. That floor looks awesome.
Thank you. That was several hours of work.
Are they Herstart molds, or you carved every one of them?
No, there's no Herstarts here. This is all foam core.
You carved every bit of that. That's freaking awesome.
Yep.
You
It's
should make videos. You should make videos. The videos of I know I've seen a couple of your videos, but you should make some of your videos of you carving, showing how people make.
What the plan is that I am going to, when this is all done and I'm done running it for the con, I am going to do a video tour of this whole piece, showing in detail all the rooms and talking about the module, because I'm writing a module to accompany it.
Oh, that's
in November. I'm hoping in November to publish the Tomb of the Mummy Lord module on Drive-Thru RPG. And so I'm going to talk through everything on here, but and I'll show some of the secrets. There's some secrets going on here that I can't divulge yet. But my plan is that essentially my second season on my channel is going to be start with a video tour of this piece, and then it will be basically I'm going to go room by room and I'm going to show how I did different techniques.
That's awesome.
So I'll actually show how I came up with the floor for the throne room, and
I love the tile. I liked how you did like the old square tiles over here on the one side, and you changed it up on the other side. They're diamonds. They turned them to be diamonds, and in the middle it's like, oh, it looks like they're supposed to be pillars in the middle.
yeah, they're just gold and silver. And
I mean, where the circle is, it looks like it should be a pillar, like a pillar coming right out, you know, like a pillar sticking out right from the middle.
oh yeah, yeah.
And it's like that is so cool. I mean, really, this is so awesome looking.
Well, let me show you. Oops. Let me show you this piece, because this piece goes in here. I just got to wait till I get these walls painted and put in place.
Yeah, measuring everything out to pain in the butt. Is that a sword on top of the tomb?
But that is the actual sarcophagus for the Mummy Lord, and
A sword, though?
yes, indeed.
That's awesome. Did you carve that, or is it a piece?
No, that is actually, I purchased that for a couple bucks at the craft store.
I seen some cocktail knives like that.
That'll actually have a practical purpose in the game, potentially, as well.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, and there's going to be, this room's going to have some of my treasure hoards will be laying around in the corners, and
what?
There's going to be where these alcoves are. There's going to be banners.
I'll give you $1 now until the morning time. There, go.
All right, so
What are you using for the? Did you make that base from scratch too?
What do you mean?
Like, see, I see that the sides of the base are angled like on an angle.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let me see if I can do this here. And get it in camera.
Because that is a nice piece. How big is that? It looks like it's like
Right.
at least 2 feet.
This is the base. It is 24 inches at the bottom, the interior dimensions are, the floor dimension ends up being 18.5, or actually ends up being 18 inches interior space.
So you have a
18
slick
inches.
appearance because it's going to be a pyramid, right?
Right, so the floor above that
Oh my gosh.
so that sits on there like that, and then all of this is going to be covered in foam that's going to be textured as well. And I got to put magnets in there to hold everything in place.
Can I give a little tip for the outside facade? Like a really easy tip for you? Would be really cool.
What's that?
Invest in sandpaper. Get heavy grit sandpaper.
For
The sides. Like what you do is that you take heavy grit sandpaper for the outside shell, and you can cut the squares out and leave like a gap between them, and just glue it on. You don't even have to put texture because the sandpaper already has it. And it'll look like sandstone.
I could see that potentially, but I'm actually doing the whole thing in foam core.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be
actually-
really. That's gonna be epic. I mean, that is so awesome looking.
I can't wait to unveil it at the con, and then pull the top off, and they'll actually see inside. And what I'm actually doing though is, so this is the hold on. So here, when they walk in, they'll only see this area. There's actually going to be fog of war pieces over everything else.
Oh wow, the papers, the black papers.
I've actually got this heavier grade black cardboard that I'm going to cut to size, and it will sit over each section to keep it concealed.
That is gonna be so cool. I hope you're allowed to film that when you do the reveal, because that would be awesome. A video of that, just you revealing.
I'm running 3 games, and for my 3rd game on Sunday morning, my son is going to be at the con, and he's going to be filming and taking pictures.
That's gonna be so awesome. I can't
And
wait.
I'm gonna have my flip cam there, and I'm just going to do some filming here and there, and then I'll edit all that together and post it a week or so after the.
Mind me asking if you have a smartphone?
I do.
Well, if you have a smartphone, you know how you can do Hangouts on air?
Yeah.
You can use your smartphone as a walkthrough, as a Hangout on air to make a walkthrough of using your phone as a character, like walking through the
Right.
showing everybody at model view, using your phone.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been 2 hours we've been on air here. I finished up the section I was working on, so I'm going to go ahead and call it, because tomorrow I am going to be crafting for 12 to 15 hours straight.
Lucky
I'm going to
you.
put on some live D&D games, or I'm going to put on some music. One of the things I'm going to be working on is I bought a dozen of these, I think they glow in the dark, but scorpions for $1 at the dollar store. And I am going to paint some of them, put them on a base, because you can't have a mummy tomb without having giant scorpions.
You want to know? Are you going to use cardboard bases, or are you going to use washers?
I have some of these bases.
Oh, so you have those? If you're going to use those, the thing, I recommend with that kind of, since it's like a clear plastic that might glow in the dark, and there's black bases, if you want to keep the glow in the dark effect on them, only choose like certain areas of like little gaps to keep glow in the dark.
Yeah, there's no reason to keep the glow in the dark effect, because I'll never play the game in total darkness where that would matter. No, I'm I'm gonna paint these completely black and do some dry brushing over them. And I did, this ghost that I did. I started on uses one of those bases. I just put the base on top of it and used hot glue to texture the bottom.
Yeah, I've done stuff like that before. Usually when it comes to those bases, since I have to use them all the time for the miniature wargaming, I play the figurines for wargaming. What I used to do was when I made a bait, I used to make display boards that make. Is that your is that gonna be the guy in the tomb?
That is the Mummy Lord.
That
It's
is
actually
awesome.
Reaper's Mummy Lich, I think, is the figure.
It's a Lich Lord because I could tell by the staff. I made my own Mummy Lord for a Mummy game back in the day, but mine was we were doing it was called Movie Monsters was the game. So the first monster we had to fight was the first monster we came up against was the swamp monster. You know what I'm talking about? The
Right.
big giant fish guy. We came up against him. Then we came up against the blob in the when we end up in the dungeon. We end up in Dracula's dungeon. The blob was a gelatinous cube. We ended up fighting. We had to run away from the blob. We bumped into a mummy, which how we killed the mummy was the funniest way. A guy took an arrow and shot one of his wrappings out a window with a rock, and he de-raveled.
All right. I want to bump over to Kevin real quick. Kevin, I see you. Are you just test fitting some pieces together, or what are you doing over there?
Yeah, I was just going to show what I was talking about with the Fat Dragon things. This piece is the floor, right? It's got 2.5D walls, right? And then, yeah, the walls will fit on, like you saw. It's scaled a little bit so that the 1-inch squares, even with the wall, you can still fit a miniature.
Okay.
Right? So they're actually 1¼ inch squares, but a 1-inch mini will fit in all, even if there's up against the wall.
That's
and
all.
The walls will fit on.
Oh, that's so cool.
So you have backdrop. You don't have to look directly down into it.
That little fireplace is awesome.
But and then if you put both the walls on, I mean, you can do that wall, or if you want, you can put the other side on. Take this side off. You can see the other side of the room with both the walls on, and you can fit the ceiling upstairs. I guess this would be the attic in this place, but it's just the same floor plan.
Now, are you covering foam core, or is that all the way they have it folded paper?
The walls are foam core, and the floor I've pasted it on. You can see it's just foam core.
All right.
And these walls are also foam core.
I like the lock and slide mechanism that you incorporate on that. It's pretty cool. For being a print
cool.
My needs anyway.
Very cool.
I like the fireplace. I really like that little fireplace. That makes the little room.
Yeah, I gotta make a little modular fire for it.
A bunch of toothpicks painted
One of the
brown.
things was with these Fat Dragon fold flat things. If you imagine where the chimney would go down, a lot of times they have them like it would be blocking a window or a door, you know, it doesn't really show. It's not in a proper place, really. So I tried to make mine so that it would be more realistic placement of the chimney.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's still a nice piece. I like your little pumpkin head dude in the corner there.
That's a real bugbear. Yeah. That's a real bugbear.
Yeah.
Old school bugbear.
All right. Well, hey, I want to thank you guys for popping in tonight. Kevin and I may be crafting on Saturday, so I might at least tune into your painting thing going on.
Okay.
Hey, Kevin, on Saturday, if
no
you
comments there,
send me
but-
an invite, I'll join you. I might be painting a figurine.
I will publish the link in DM Scotty's and Paint My Bones and RPG Fantasy Terrain groups on Facebook
All right.
and
Well,
the
thank
Pro
you,
Boards
gentlemen, for
Forum.
I appreciate it. It's kind of nice to have some company about crafting tonight, so maybe doing these again in the future. So thank you very much, and for those handful of you that may have tuned in, thanks for watching. I have been Mini Terrain Domain, Mitted. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Mini Terrain, for inviting me.
Yep.
It was fun.
Good night.
Night, guys.